So starting in August this year, with the recent changes following the NAR legal settlement, the way open houses now work for buyers has totally changed. If you've attended one recently, you probably noticed the changes. I mean, it's changed the interaction between agents and potential home buyers for good. So what are these changes? How will the relationship between home buyers and realtors hosting open houses change? And what do we expect moving forward? So in this video, I'll tell you everything you need to know about these new rules. But first, let's recap on what are the new rules following the settlement. Well, up until now, sellers have been paying the commission for both their agent and the buyer's agent. The commission for the buyer's agent, which was always negotiable, has typically been between 2.5% and 3% and was published directly on the MLS. So this system incentivized thousands of agents to bring buyers to the seller's home, creating competition and increasing the chance for a fast sale at top dollar. So what were the pros and cons of this system? Well, sellers had a simple way where thousands of agents were working for them. Buyers, on the other hand, didn't have to worry about paying their agent's fees at closing because it was covered by the sellers. But there were downsides. Even though it was always negotiable, sellers felt that there was no option but to pay the 2.5%. So starting this August, the MLS no longer publishes buyer's agent commissions. This means that the days of expecting a guaranteed 2.5% or 3% commission from the seller to the buyer's agent, those days are over. Many sellers will likely still be prepared to pay that for the right offer, but the payment will be structured differently, likely as a credit towards closing costs rather than a direct commission paid at the close of escrow direct to the buyer's broker. One thing you'll likely start seeing is a note saying that the seller is prepared to offer a concession to the buyer. This could mean a concession for a dirty carpet, but the reality is it likely means a concession for a buyer's agent commission. For example, we now put on our website that all of our listings, sellers are prepared to offer a concession to the buyer. Certainly in our experience so far, most sellers are prepared to offer a concession for buyer agent fees for the right offer because they know that by doing that, they're most likely to attract the largest number of buyers, including buyers who just can't afford to pay an agent directly. Another big change is that buyer's agents will now need to enter into an agreement with their clients, similar to what a seller signs with their listing agent. This agreement will outline what the agent's charging and lock in their commitment to you so you know exactly what you're paying for. There is currently a lot of confusion out there, but I'm sure in 12 to 18 months' time, we'll have forgotten that it was any different. If you have questions or you need more information on how this could affect your next transaction, then please feel to reach out to me on david@brewingtonhargreaves.com or just give me a call on 415-260-7814. One of the big questions facing a lot of realtors representing buyers is, at what point do you ask a buyer to sign an exclusive buyer's agreement? Some agents have used buyer's agreements as a matter of course for years. I mean, we never have because we were always happy to work on a trust basis. We are no longer allowed to do that, which is probably a good thing because it just ensures that there's a two-way commitment on both sides. Where things are noticeably different is at open houses. We probably all know people who spend their lives going around open houses without necessarily ever actually buying something. They're going to be signing a lot of forms, I can tell you that. I'll explain more about what you can expect if you turn up at an open house from now onwards. But do you know something that you may need that will help you a lot? Well, if you subscribe to my channel to receive new videos like this one and updates about living in Sonoma County. I promise you, if you subscribe, I'll continue to bring you more and more videos on everything you need to know about this area, from lifestyle to real estate, market tips, things to do, and much more besides. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. So let's talk about this change and some of the other key changes in open houses after these new NAR rules. As of now, all buyers attending an open house will have to complete at least one form to attend the open house and get information about that home. So let's break it down so you know what to expect. Well, the first option is to sign an open house visitor non-agency disclosure form, and it's quite a mouthful, isn't it? This form simply acknowledges that the agent hosting the open house represents a seller and you're not entering into any agreement with them to represent them. This form will also ask if you're represented, and if so, which agent is representing you. You'll still be able to get basic information about the property, which is published on the MLS. And for this reason, for all our listings, we're now producing a much more detailed brochure, which includes a lot of the information on the MLS, rather than just the number of bedrooms, the number of bathrooms, and the square footage. What you won't be able to get answers to are more detailed questions that aren't public information, such as how old is the roof, is the property in a flood zone, or is the property vacation rentable? In order to get these more detailed questions answered, you'll need to talk to your agent that's actually representing you, or find an agent, or else sign a representation agreement at the open house. So the second form is a limited property representation form. I mean, the most basic representation agreement is what's called a limited property representation agreement, which is an agreement that's limited to just a single property, namely the property of the address of the open house. This is a temporary arrangement covering only the property you're viewing. This agreement can last for up to 30 days and allows the agent to provide you with a much more detailed information about the property, as well as representation specific to that home. If all you want to know is how old is the roof, or if there's a full set of inspections available, you may not want to sign a representation agreement with whoever happens to be hosting the open house, which frequently isn't the listing agent. I mean, what do you do in that case? Well, the short answer is you need to find representation with somebody that you trust to represent your interests, and also negotiate the best deal for you. So the third form is a full exclusive buyer representation agreement. I mean, there is the option for this full buyer representation agreement, which offers a much more comprehensive commitment between a buyer and an agent. This covers multiple properties and can last for up to 6 months, giving you ongoing representation throughout your home search. In reality, are you likely to sign one of these agreements at an open house? Absolutely not. It would be like agreeing to marry somebody on the first date. I mean, it takes time to get to know an agent and determine if it's a good fit for you, and vice versa for the agent. So choosing an agent is a really important part of your home search. A lot of agents, particularly new agents, they actually do open houses for more experienced agents purely to get leads, and they just don't have the experience of 50 or 100 deals under their belt to be able to best represent you. So what is the solution if you're a buyer? So prior to these rules, it was very easy to go to open houses, get the information you need, and never actually commit to using an agent until you wanted to write an offer. With these new rules in place, it makes sense to treat hiring a buyer's agent as serious as it does hiring an agent to sell your home. Even before you start going to open houses, I'd find an agent, get them to pitch for your business, and decide who you want to work with. When you are then ready to go and see your first homes, you can then sign a representation agreement with them. While a full buyer representation agreement has a termination period of 30 days, we're adopting the policy of making it possible for either side to terminate the agreement with immediate effect. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want to work with somebody who's feeling they're tied to working with me if they don't want to work with me, and vice versa. There's no question these changes give buyers more control over their representation while making the open house process more streamlined. So whether you want a full, limited, or no representation, you'll have options. Just make sure you sign the right form. So are these changes a good thing overall? Well, on the whole, I'd say yes, they are. I mean, it forces buyers to be just a bit more considered about who they decide to work with, and so will likely weed out the poorer agents who don't add much value. For example, a staggering 49% of agents did no deals in 2023. I mean, do you really want to be represented by an agent who's doing no deals? On top of that, 87% of agents drop out after 5 years. So do you really want to be represented by an agent who's about to quit? It makes sense to take the selection process seriously rather than signing with an agent who just happened to pick up a lead they paid for on Zillow, or an agent who doesn't have any of their own deals, so they're doing other people's open houses. I also think it forces all of us to make sure we clearly communicate our value proposition to buyers through whatever means that may be, whether it's through market knowledge, negotiation skills, or a track record of saving clients money. I mean, one of the dangers for unassuming buyers is that they get pressured by realtors who operate more like used car salesmen. I mean, we've all come across them, let's face it. And they get duped into signing a representation agreement without actually realizing what they've done. The advice I would give is if you're not sure, just ask to sign an open house non-agency disclosure form. If you then have questions, Go away from the open house and seek out an agent by talking to friends, searching on Google, search on YouTube, Zillow for the best agents in a particular area. Make sure to check out their reviews. You can then interview them to see if they'd be a good fit for you to work with them and then to work with you. So if you made it to this point in the video, there's a good chance that you're thinking about buying your next home, investing in this area, buying a second home, or selling your current one in Sonoma County. We'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. Just email me at david@brewington-hargreaves to get started. Our team's actually the #1 team in Sonoma County with over 70 families helped in 2023 with nearly $80 million worth of properties bought and sold, helping you whether you want to buy a dream home, your second home, an investment property, or if you just want updates on the homes that are going to be coming on the market and way more besides. And hey, before you go, if you like this video, you'll love my video about everything you need to know before deciding to move to Sonoma County. There, I'll break down the A to Z of the different areas, what it's like living here, and way more besides, so make sure to check it out. See you in the next video.